Veteran news anchor Ted Koppel, Fox's Sean Hannity, and that was yesterday on the CBS Sunday Morning show. Look who's here, Howard Kurtz, the guy from Media Buzz. I want to try and synthesize this down. I know Sean objects to it was just 2 minutes taken out of a 40-minute interview, but the point that Koppel was making was that opinion had made its way into a lot of news outlets. And I think that's true, but I think it's inevitable. What do you say?
You know, I debated Ted Koppel on a panel last year, and he is absolutely convinced that the rise of cable news and this thing called the Internet has been bad for journalism, bad for the country, and he kind of prefers the old days. But by the logic that Koppel was using, he wasn't saying just you, Hannity, he was saying opinion shows. He should also feel that, for example, Rachel Maddow is bad for America. Interesting that he chose to beat up on Hannity and, by extension, Sean Hannity's audience, which he seems to think is not interested in facts.
In my opinion, there's always been opinion subtly involved in any news broadcast, because it's what do you consider to be news? I mean, there is bias involved in what is news. And then there's the way, how do you write the story? Who do you quote? Who do you not quote? What do you put in and what you don't put in? I think bias has always been there, and I think opinion is playing a greater and greater role. I think you would agree with that, right?
I do agree with that, but I also agree with the point that Hannity made, which is, you know, the audience is smart, more sophisticated than the elites give them credit for. They get it. When you watch Sean Hannity, you're seeing an opinion show. Basically, Sean Hannity is paid for his opinions. He is a big supporter of President Trump, makes no secret about that. And that's also true on other channels, on other opinionated shows. And you know what, Stuart? It's also true of newspaper editorial pages and op-ed pages. People get the difference.
But increasingly, the editorial page of a newspaper has bled over its opinion into the news pages of a newspaper. I mean, look at the New York Times and certainly the Washington Post.
I think that's particularly true in the age of Trump, where a lot of people who would be in the role of straight journalists, reporters, seem to feel like they're on some kind of crusade to be negative against this president, almost no matter what he does. And I think also the internet and social media have opened up people understanding better that there is a lot of bias, sometimes outright, sometimes subtle, sometimes by omission, as you say, in what have all along been presented as just the straight news.
Well, look, this is a political opinion show, Varney and Company. And everybody knows it. I express opinion on what I think is going on in Washington and how it affects the economy. But I do not express an opinion on whether the stock market is going to go up or down. I don't say buy it now and sell it tomorrow. I don't do that. I think that's legit. You're the Media Buzz guy. Is it legit? It's
totally legit, and it's different from what, for example, Bret Baier and Chris Wallace do. And you don't make any bones about it. And you have lots of opinions, which is why we enjoy watching you.
Oh, you do? All right.
You're so easy, Stuart.
I'll just roll right over for that one, Howard, believe me. Howard Kurtz, so glad you're on the show this morning. And I love Media Buzz. You're right down the middle. You never express an opinion.
Good judgment.
Thank you, Howard. To see you soon.
Good to see you.
Yes, sir. I want to get